Oh, it's working. Hello, and thank you for joining my channel. And sorry about the video shaking. I am Karen and I am in my caravan at the moment. My caravan is parked. It's like a trailer. If you're in America, you know what that is. It's parked on my driveway, and we tow it around when we go on holiday, vacation. And I live in the house just off the driveway, but I have children and dogs, a dog, and it's quite noisy in there, so I thought I would come in here and make a video. The Lord has been putting it on my heart to make a video for a long time now, but I keep putting it off and I keep trying to make the video, but it's not working. So I'm going to make a video on a number of things, and I'm possibly going to keep updating it as my journey continues. I'm 43 and I want another baby. I have 2 children already and they are amazing miracle babies, and one is 8 and one is 5, and they're both boys and I love them so much. I didn't have my children until I was later on in life. The first baby at 35, second baby at 38, and then I wanted another baby after the last one, but my husband didn't until recently. So recently we have been trying for a baby, and I just want to talk about that journey that I have been on, and to share my experiences with other people and to try and encourage people on their journey, but also to highlight how well meant but unhelpful comments and sensitive comments from other people trying to help you can be quite hurtful as well. So I'm going to talk about all of these experiences and hopefully tie it together really nicely, and then when I come back again on my next video I'm going to have an update for you. So this first video is going to be long, okay, but I want to document it and have it all on one place. I might divide it up in the future, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm 43. I have 2 children already and we want one more. So in April of this year, 2019, we had been talking about it really for a year and a half, and I decided, yeah, okay, let's go for it and see whether we can have one more baby. So we try for a baby in April, and we just BD once and I get pregnant. So we were like, well, we're putting it into the hands of the Lord, and if he wants us to have another baby, we will have another baby. So when we got the pregnancy test positive, we were just over the moon, so overjoyed, couldn't believe it, and I was feeling sick. The smells were increasing, all of my normal typical pregnancy symptoms. And then what happened was I kept testing because I was not feeling happy with the strength of the line. So I kept testing, and as I kept testing, I was getting like cramps in my pelvis. And I had got cramps before with one of my previous pregnancies, but this time it worried me, and I was right, because at 5 weeks I began to bleed. But before I did, I received a word from the Lord that I was going to have like a rainbow baby. And for those people who don't know what a rainbow baby, it's the rainbow baby that you get after the storm of losing a previous baby. And I didn't understand why the Lord was saying this to me when I was pregnant, but then when my period did come and I lost that pregnancy and the line faded to nothing, I understood what he meant. So even though that pregnancy didn't work out, we thought, well, because we received this word from the Lord, that we would continue again for the next month. So in the next month we try again, and this time I try to take some natural progesterone cream during my luteal phase, because I'm 43 and hormones aren't what they could be. So I thought, well, it's not going to do any harm, so might as well try it. So all throughout my second attempt, I thought I was pregnant. I had all of the pregnancy symptoms. I had nausea, I had extreme thirst, I was tired, everything. And lo and behold, just before my period arrived, I got a faint positive on a test, on a few different brands tests, but they were very, very faint. And I quit taking my progesterone. I don't know why I did that, but I did. It was quite stupid of me. So I ended up, my period came on, and that was that. So that was another chemical pregnancy at 4 weeks. A chemical pregnancy, a biochemical pregnancy, is basically when the egg gets fertilized, travels down the fallopian tube to the uterus, and begins to implant, but it doesn't quite implant properly, and the cells don't divide and progress into the different regions of the body for the baby like it should, and then you lose the baby usually before 6 weeks. That's a biochemical pregnancy. So that was two biochemical pregnancies. So we keep getting the confirmations from the Lord that we should try again, and we were going to have our rainbow baby. So the next month again, so we're talking April, May, June. So in June we try again, and lo and behold, we get pregnant again. And this time the line is progressing. I'm feeling quite tired. I'm feeling bouts of nausea. I'm feeling pregnancy symptoms, not very strong like the way it was with my last baby, but I was feeling, oh yeah, this is it now. 5 weeks came and went, no blood. However, I was experiencing pain, but it wasn't like cramping the way it was previously. So I had a GP appointment, and I went along, and the GP, it was for a smear, and I said, I can't have a smear because I'm pregnant. And she said, no, you can't. How's it going? And I says, well, I'm having some pain, and I've had 2 previous chemical pregnancies recently. And she said, oh, well, I think we should get you seen by the early pregnancy unit. So I was like, right, okay, maybe they can give me some progesterone too. But she says, oh no, we don't prescribe progesterone for pregnancy in the NHS, but maybe they can give it to you, we'll see. So I went along and I had a scan at the EPU, the early pregnancy unit, and my husband was there with me, and they said, oh, you're having twins. And we were just like, oh, okay, yeah. We weren't like shocked or, oh, how are we going to cope? We were actually really, really fine about it. We were more concerned about the fact that she says, but the yolk sacs haven't developed yet. She says, I can see 2 gestational sacs, but the yolk sacs haven't developed. We need to scan you in a few more days and see what's happening. So I sent out a call to prayer, all the people that I knew, and I had lots of people praying for me, and then went in for my next scan. And meanwhile, they had also taken my HCG levels, but I wasn't worried because it was just the line was so strong and getting stronger all the time. And my HCG came back at nearly 4,000, and then the next HCG came back at just over 5,000, and that wasn't doubling correctly in 24-hour period. So on that day that I got my result back for the second HCG, they scanned me again, and they weren't supposed to. They were just supposed to take the bloods for my HCG, but I said, like, you couldn't scan me just to see if the yolk sacs have developed yet. And they said, yeah, okay. So they scanned me and they said, no, there's no yolk sacs developed yet. And then they said, yeah, you know, maybe give it a few more days. And I went away, and then a few hours later I got a phone call from the consultant, and she said, we would like you to come into the hospital because your HCG isn't doubling, and from your scan we really need to scan you again just to see what's going on in there. So there was red flags going up with suspicion. So I went back in, rushed away over to the hospital, and the consultant came down and she scanned me again, and it was really strange because rather than having the 2 gestational sacs there in the womb this time, there was many black sacs, so they were actually cysts or something, and she suspected a molar pregnancy. And I didn't agree with her. She wanted me to go in straight away for an emergency D&C right there and then. And I said I'd prefer to wait. And she says, what have you got to wait for? She says, Karen, I strongly suggest this is a molar pregnancy. Your life is at risk. You have children, you need to think about them. All of those things running through my head. And then a voice in my spirit said, this is supposed to happen. You're supposed to have a D&C, and this is going to clean out your system and make way for the rainbow baby that's to come. So I agreed to have the D&C because I knew the pregnancy wasn't viable. The HCG wasn't measuring. They couldn't see a baby on the screen. They weren't even sure if there was a gestational sac there that they were seeing. They just thought it's the molar or cyst. So I had an emergency D&C that evening at 9:30 at night, and it was a very, very upsetting and traumatic experience, and my heart goes out to anybody who's had to go through that. It's puts us ladies in quite a vulnerable position as well. Thankfully I was asleep when I had it. So went away from the hospital, and they said that they would do a biopsy, but before they did a biopsy I spoke to the surgeon and I said, what was your opinion on whether that was a molar or not? And he said it didn't look like a molar. It could have been a partial molar, but it didn't look like a molar. So I was really, really relieved about that. And then my HCG kept coming down really quick. It like came down so quick. So I had no reason to believe it was a molar. I never believed it was a molar in the first place. So the confirmation came through from the biopsy that it wasn't indeed a molar, and but there was raised T57 cells, and they're like killer cells in your body. So I thought to myself, oh my goodness me, that can't be good, having T57 cells. I mean, I wonder if this is the reason why I keep my pregnancies aren't progressing. So that was June and July, that pregnancy. So now we're on to August, and August has come, and we try again and get a faint line. And then on the morning of my granny's funeral, because she sadly died recently, I get a really good line, a really good strong line. And because it was on the morning of my granny's funeral and we just felt it was meant to be, we were receiving more and more confirmations from the Lord. There was this beautiful like circular rainbow in the sky with a big shaft of light coming from it, and